Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into a headline that, at first glance, might just sound like your run-of-the-mill shoe deal. But trust me, under the surface, it's an absolute game changer. We're talking about the recent partnership between Curry brand and the Chinese sportswear giant Li Ning. This isn't just about dropping a fresh pair of kicks for the new season. No. This is about the evolution of the athlete entrepreneur. It's literally rewriting the entire global sports commerce playbook. Okay, let's dive into this. To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of what's happening here, you just need to look at one massive number: 7,600. That's the number of retail locations Li Ning operates across Asia right now. I mean, Li Ning isn't just a recognizable name over there, it's an absolute powerhouse. It's one of Asia's largest sporting goods companies. So when you partner with a company that has a battle-tested infrastructure of 7,600 physical storefronts, you're not just slapping your logo on a jersey anymore. You are instantly plugging into a monolithic distribution network. Which brings us to part one of our explainer, Curry's massive new partnership and his strategic move into the world's second-largest economy. So back on June 2nd, 2026, four-time NBA champ Stephen Curry announced this long-term alignment with Li Ning. But here's the thing that has business analysts so hooked. Curry isn't just positioning Curry brand as some minor sub-label. It's a completely standalone commercial enterprise. This Li Ning collaboration is the ultimate vehicle for that grand vision. It's a long-term play aimed at massive international expansion, which pushes Curry way beyond the boundaries of the traditional athlete sponsorships we've been used to seeing for decades. Essentially, he's building a huge corporate footprint directly inside the world's second-largest economy. Moving on to part two, winning the Chinese market, and exactly why China matters so much in global basketball. So you might be wondering, why China and why Li Ning? Well, China remains one of the absolutely most crucial battlegrounds for global basketball. To give you a sense of the scale here, the NBA's fanbase in China is just staggering. We're talking numbers that easily dwarf the entire populations of major European countries. When you've got hundreds of millions of highly engaged viewers, basketball footwear isn't just some niche hobbyist market. It is a massive, incredibly lucrative slice of the global apparel industry. And because of that, sportswear companies are fiercely competing for loyalty. Everybody wants a piece of this pie. But to actually capture the attention of these fans, you need serious on-the-ground infrastructure. And that creates this perfect symbiotic relationship. For Curry brand, the goal of expanding their market reach happens by getting direct access to that massive Chinese consumer base. It perfectly positions them for standalone enterprise growth across all of Asia. On the flip side, Li Ning scores a partnership with one of the most recognizable, influential athletes on the planet. This totally turbocharges their international ambitions. It gives them the commercial firepower to go toe-to-toe with the established global giants who've basically dominated the basketball space forever. It's a win-win, built entirely on shared strategic goals. So, the crucial point is what this actually looks like on the ground for Steph Curry and his team. This agreement literally throws open the doors to brand new, tangible, operational pathways across Asia. We're talking highly streamlined product distribution, meaning getting physical shoes and gear from the factories right into consumers' hands without crazy overhead. It unlocks lucrative brand licensing, aggressive retail expansion through all those thousands of storefronts we talked about earlier, and real, deep, localized consumer engagement. Because, let's face it, you can't just sell shoes from an ocean away. You need local roots. And this deal provides a turnkey solution for scaling internationally almost overnight. Let's look at part three, beyond traditional athlete endorsements, how we're moving from signature shoes to standalone enterprises. We are right in the middle of a massive structural paradigm shift in sports commerce. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. Think about the old way, the traditional endorsement model. This is what we all grew up seeing, right? Athletes rely on conventional sponsorship checks. Maybe they get a signature shoe or their face on a cereal box, they cash out and go home. But today, we're fully entering the ownership model. Elite athletes like Curry don't just want to be the face of a brand anymore. They're demanding equity, ownership, and real long-term business building. They want the keys to the entire company, not just a 10-second spot in a commercial. Actually, there's a quote from the initial announcement that really drives this shift home. Curry explicitly pointed to Li Ning's own historical success in building a namesake sportswear company. Remember, the founder, Mr. Li Ning, went from being an Olympic gymnast to a literal corporate titan. Curry isn't just looking at this company as some middleman distributor. He's looking at them as a proven, historical blueprint for scaling his own namesake international brand. He's teaming up with the exact people who have already successfully executed the playbook he wants to run.
Which leads us to our final section, the athlete-led business ecosystem and the dawn of the athlete entrepreneur.
Let's quickly define exactly what we mean by an athlete-led commercial ecosystem. Basically, it's a modern sports business model where elite athletes act as full-on entrepreneurs, active investors, and actual brand owners. They're totally dedicated to building scalable, international businesses. Their influence isn't just confined to the 94 feet of a basketball court anymore. It extends way beyond the final buzzer, reaching deep into the boardrooms of international commerce and actively shaping global supply chains and retail trends. It's a whole new ballgame. The playbook for this new ecosystem really comes down to 3 distinct steps. Step 1, leverage a globally recognized personal brand. I mean, Curry has spent well over a decade building his, mostly by just ruining the championship hopes of opposing teams with a smile on his face, right? Step 2, establish long-term strategic collaborations. You don't just sign with a sponsor for a flat fee. You find an infrastructural partner, like Li Ning, who offers actual operational leverage. And step 3, you combine those 2 things to build truly scalable international businesses. That is exactly how modern stars are turning their massive cultural influence into generational commercial empires. Now, what's super interesting about this convergence is exactly why market analysts are watching it like hawks. This deal represents the ultimate merging of entirely different business sectors. We're seeing top-tier sports, retail operations, intellectual property management, and global consumer markets all just blending into one highly efficient machine. As massive brands desperately scramble for authentic connections with consumers in our super crowded digital world, marrying unparalleled athlete influence with massive retail infrastructure is going to fundamentally reshape the commercial landscape, no doubt about it.
Which leaves us with a pretty fascinating dynamic. If the biggest names in sports are no longer satisfied with just endorsing someone else's company, if they're laser focused on building their own international empires through these massive strategic partnerships, is the era of the traditional sports endorsement officially over? As we watch the sports business landscape continue to evolve, you really have to ask yourself, who's going to be the next athlete to step off the court and step into the role of a global corporate entrepreneur? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I hope it helps you see the business behind the game in a whole new light.